why it's so cool to just write things down.
Yep.
Because when it's quick and it's easy and you get to remember the fact that you had curry and scallops with your mom while watching the Michael Jackson documentary, it's just like, come on, man. Makes you feel good.
And I'm feeling good.
It is Tuesday, April? It's not April. It is April. It is Tuesday, April the 16th.
Yep.
And Baller,
Yep.
the boys are back in town.
Yep.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
Boys are back. Boys are back.
Yeah, the boys are back in town. So where you been, travel boy?
I've been in Augusta, Georgia,
Wow.
GA.
Wow. The Masters tournament. Will you please share with the people why or how you have the privilege of going to the Masters?
Yes. My dad's brother, aka my uncle, married the 1969 Master Champion George Archer's daughter. So his daughter is my aunt.
And little known fact, when you win the Masters, they tend to invite you to the Masters. So that's pretty cool.
Yes, it's very cool. And one thing that I did learn, this I knew before, but my aunt was the first white caddy and female caddy at Augusta National
Wow.
of all time.
Wait, first white caddy too?
First white caddy.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And Jeff caddied for George in the Masters.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is such a fun fact.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so to go backwards in order to go forwards, this is episode 14 of Two's Talk. And on this episode, Season 2's,
Of course.
episode 14, people forget. On this episode of Two's Talk, we will be discussing industry news. MKBHD says the Humane Pin is the worst product that he's ever reviewed. Elon announces that X will have a new monetization. Ooh. A user submission from Young Nino. Steve Jobs had a no notes at Apple policy. So we will be discussing that. We also have You've Got Some Messed Up Things, our new segment where we search keywords in our twos, which could end up bringing back some interesting results. We have Twos Guys Explain Things, which will be directly related to the Twos Guys travel, me, the UK, Baller, Augusta National, and last but not least, we have a new segment. Can I get a new segment sound? Time travel with the Twos Guys.
Oh, great Scott.
A little known feature that you may not have experienced yet within the Twos app, which we will be putting on display, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Stick around for the wheel, the Q&A segment, and once again, this episode of Two's Talk is brought to you by Twos, the best place to write things down. All right, so Baller, you ready to get into the industry news?
I am.
MKBHD, pretty popular guy.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew about that.
Yes.
He is a tech influencer, and he reviews all of the hottest things in tech, whether that be a Cybertruck or a new software. In this particular instance, he reviewed the Humane Pin, and his title of the video was The Worst Product I've Ever Reviewed. So, why is this on our industry news segment? Let me tell you. People are of the belief that wearables will supersede our need for note-taking apps. Because if it's recording everything that I'm experiencing, doing, or wanting to do, then why do I need to write things down? So the Humane Pin is the first tool of the likes, except for the fact that MKBHD says that it is sluggish and prone to making mistakes, overheats both in usage and in rest, bulky, snags easily on clothing, expensive, a $700 upfront cost and $24 per month subscription. And so, Baller, the question to you is, in a world of competition, what do you think poses the biggest threat to tattoos?
I think that the biggest threat to tattoos, in my mind, potentially could be the physical notebook. That the digital physical notebooks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like if someone built a really good...
Like the Rocketbook kind of stinks. I've experienced the Rocketbook. That is intended to be...
Maybe not, actually. I kind of take that back. I don't want to carry one of those around.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I really don't either. I don't got pocket for notebook. So yeah, MKBHD. You want to know, obviously, the one part of me that's just broken? I'm a broken man.
Yeah, what's the one part?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So many things. Is this good for Humane? Is them just getting this level of exposure have benefit?
No, because people were already pumped on it.
They were pumped.
And people were like buying it, pre-order, whatever. Now...
You may hesitate.
I mean, MKBHD, I watched the video. At the end of it, he's like, do not get this product.
Okay. Industry news. Elon announces new monetization for X, suggesting that new users will have to pay a nominal fee to post, like, and bookmark tweets. His argument is that it is the best and most obvious solution against the bot problem. Others are seeing it as a way for Elon to squeeze more pennies out of Twitter's many users. Your thoughts on the situation?
I don't know too much about this one. I haven't even seen any of this news.
It came out yesterday.
I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
I don't know how. It'll be interesting to see if that actually happens.
What I think is most interesting about this situation is that it seems to me like Elon is trying to reverse engineer monetization. And I think that they say that you can't do that.
Okay.
Essentially, like, we need to make money, so we need to change the experience that people have become accustomed to in order to make money.
Right.
And we
received death threats about reverse engineering our monetization.
Proponently against it. The last topic for our industry news is one that I am very fond of.
Hit me.
Steve Jobs allegedly had a policy in the early stages of Apple that note-taking is for unintelligent people.
Yeah, I would say it's wild. I understand what he's saying by that. Like, it's kind of like just learn to listen and then take out the biggest, most important pieces and like be smart enough to be able to decipher that information and then remember that information.
We hired you to be the best of the best. And so now the idea that you need to like use a notes app in order to rise up to that occasion.
I mean, he definitely wasn't using a notes app. He was definitely using a notebook.
Notebook. That's a great
time,
point.
Probably.
So that actually leads to my final takeaway from this piece. Not surprised to hear it because Apple Notes stinks. So, you know, for
that's a good one. Apple's not investing in it because they're not allowed to take notes.
Because they don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine in 1997 it was the exact opposite, you know, approach where it's like, you need to be writing this down. Write that down, write that down. They probably would have had twos by now, like, you know. And so shout out Steve for having a no notes policy so that the best place to write things down can exist. You're the man.
We love you, Steve.
We love you. So that is our industry news. Any other thoughts from the Apple stuff? I love how this article is titled, by the way, Apple Exec's Secret to Success. Not writing things down. It's like, okay.
Well, I just think that there's so many benefits to writing things down, like from a memory aspect, from like a revisiting aspect, like scientifically proof.
Yes.
That there'd be no reason not to.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Unless
it's like you're only hurting yourself by not writing things down.
All right. You ready for our new segment?
I am ready.
Not our new segment, but our new segment, because we're constantly evolving here in the Twos Talk Pod. We are constantly improving. So
Let them know.
based on the MKBHD review,
Yep.
where he was very selective and decisive about his title for the video,
Yep.
the worst product I've ever reviewed, my suggestion for our You Got Some Messed Up Things segment is for us to search worst ever.
Here's one.
Okay?
Oh man. Well, do we want to?
Joe is the worst co-founder
Are we
ever.
only saying one?
Whatever comes out. Graduations have to be the worst ratio of time to enjoyment possible. The
Wow.
one person you came for is recognized for 10 seconds,
Yeah.
and then you sit there for 3 hours
Yeah.
for everyone else.
Yeah. Takes forever to start.
I only have one more. When we were in Ireland, I'm sorry, in York, England, somebody had left a little box of what I thought was mints, right? They were just a cute little mint box. But inside of it was sweets called hermesetas. Hermesetas. It was the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth.
Tough.
It tasted literally like motor oil that would not leave my mouth. So, have you ever heard of hermesetas? And is it for like people with diabetes or something? Because it was terrible. Those are some of the things that I've written down that come back when I search the words worst ever. I like that. I liked that keyword.
All right, let me read a couple.
Please.
Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. The worst thing you can ever do is think that you know enough. June 23rd, 2023. I don't know exactly what this is in reference to, but worst day ever into the best day ever when we went to get Jenny's.
New segment alert. Time travel with the twos guys. So, here's a little fun fact Easter egg feature that you may not have heard about before. In the Twos app and on all different Twos devices, whichever you choose, you can search the words time travel in your search bar. And when you click enter, it will bring up an completely random day in your Twos history. That ostensibly is you time traveling to a completely random day and searching for cool things. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That should be our time travel segment noise. That's a great one.
That was the time travel, I think, for Wayne's World.
So I
Something like that.
have time traveled. Have you time traveled?
I have.
Where did you time travel to?
October 7th, 2016.
That is
Throwback.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Read us some things
Yeah.
from October.
I have some great ones.
2017?
16.
16. Great year for rap, by the way.
Watched Michael Jackson's This Is It with Mom tonight. She cooked curry and scallops for dinner. Shout out, Mom.
I need
Greatest lady of all time.
some curry and scallops right now.
I mean, that I got happy just reading that thing. Need to focus more on believing in myself and visualizing my success. Also, just going straight to action. And then we got a bunch of other random stuff, but those are some good things. What you got?
God, I love twosap.com.
Best app of all time.
Best place to write things down. I mean, and the goal of this segment, I think, is again to just create yet another layer of like why it's so cool to just write things down.
Yep.
Because when it's quick and it's easy and you get to remember the fact that you had curry and scallops with your mom while watching the Michael Jackson documentary, it's just like, come on, man. Makes you feel good.
And I'm feeling good.
So I time traveled to Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. Finished season 4, episode 7 of Succession. So I'm going to skip all of the spoiler alerts, but It took me exactly 50 days to catch up with live episodes of Succession, which means I averaged 0.74 episodes per day for a month and a half. That's awesome.
Dang.
About an episode a day for a month and a half.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Succession.
Oh, very good. Thanks.
You haven't seen it? Good show. Here's a quote that I'm not particularly sure who is from. I'm not a tourist, I'm a traveler. The difference is a tourist wants to escape life, a traveler wants to experience it. And then last but not least, me and my mom went to Boulon, which is a restaurant on Water Street in Tampa. I had the burger. I also had a French onion soup. And the burger was an 8.4 out of 10. The French onion soup, 8.8. Last segment before we get into our Q&A and the wheel. Two guys explain things. We will be reading a thing that we wrote down from our trips. Parker and Augusta National, me and the UK. Parker, you have the floor. Do you have a thing that you would like to explain from your master's experience?
The shop at the Masters is pure chaos. It's a zoo in there. You got to wait forever to get in there. You get in there, everything's all over the place. There's not like one way to go through the shop. It's kind of just like you're in there and then you got to figure out what to do. There's so much to look at. You don't know what you're doing. And the guy was walking back out to his car because he had just bought a bunch of stuff. And the quote was, I think I got 9 polos. Like, he didn't know what he was doing. He just ended up with 9 polos. And we all got a good laugh from that because he was saying it to his friend like he was embarrassed about it.
That is really funny.
But yeah, that pretty much sums up the shop experience.
I think I got 9
I think
polos.
I got 9 polos.
And that number is fantastic too because it's like, 9 polos. What are you going to do with 9 Masters polos?
That's the thing. We were trying to estimate the average someone would spend in that shop.
Oh, yeah.
And we thought it would be north of $1,000.
That's awesome. I mean, that's simply awesome.
Yeah.
On April the 2nd, 2024, I wrote this down. Taking a moment to journal so I can slow time down. Realize we are halfway through our trip and make sure to enjoy it for the rest of the time. The reason that I was so excited to write that thing down is because it really plays into a benefit of writing things down, which is presence.
Mhm.
Like when you simply accept or understand the fact that time is fleeting, but if you kind of like trigger yourself into a moment of being present by writing something down, it does help put everything else into context. Having a place to write down the fact that I wanted to journal, to slow time down, and that also existed along the same lines of every recommendation that we received, every train that we had to catch, every reminder that we needed to, act upon, every reservation, every tour, everything. I just really, really appreciated how versatile Twos is, such that it could take my need for the act of journaling and make me like put everything into perspective. So now we're going to kick it over to Twos Joe back at Twos HQ for this week's episode of The Wheel. Twos Joe? Thanks, Twos Joe. I'm back here in Twos HQ for this week's episode of The Wheel. And you know what? My goal is to get 20 comments on this podcast so that you force us to buy a bigger wheel. We got 10 names on this wheel. Let's spin it for this week's prize, a Happy Tuesday Crew. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Big spin of the wheel today, baby. And this week's winner of the wheel is Our Ridiculous Videos. Shout out Our Ridiculous Videos. You have won this week's episode of The Wheel. Please leave a comment on this video to let us know how best to get in touch with you, and or just say I won, and then we'll figure it out. Congratulations. Make sure to leave a comment so you can join next episode's wheel. Thank you guys so much, and happy Tuesday. All right, and we're back. Congratulations to
Dan.
Dan. Hey guys, one thing about the wheel. If you win the wheel, comment on this video, hey, I won the wheel, so that we can send you your thing. Q&As.
Power through.
Q&As. One question on the Q and the A from Peter Beans. I'd like to know how you're funded, i.e., how long you will be around, and how secure your website is. Oh, and if you're ever going to switch and bait me into having to pay. Baller?
Well, the answer to your last sentence is no, we will not do that.
We will not.
That sounds terrible.
Scout's honor.
And the answer to your first question is we actually have received funding.
Mm-hmm.
We will be around forever. Twos is a profitable operation
Sans
if we aren't paying ourselves.
the twos guys.
So it can survive forever. But we also have your data is encrypted in transit, your data is encrypted at rest. Pretty much no one has access to database stuff.
And one line in our privacy policy that I always like shouting out, or maybe it's our terms of service. And I think that Baller put this in there, and I love it.
No, I didn't put this in there.
Twos is committed to being around for as long as the internet exists.
Yep.
It's a long time. So you will have access to your things as long as there is access to the internet. All right, Baller. Great episode.
It was.
Episode 14.
Yep.
Boys are back in town.
Yep.
'Twas a great time hanging out with all of you. As always, if you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with a friend. Leave your thoughts. Tell us what you want us to search. Tell us a story. You know what? Do whatever you want to do in order to get this out there to as many people as possible so we can share the benefits of writing things down with them, so that we can change the world. And guess what? We'll be right there with you every step of the way.
Use code BALLER when you sign up or in your referral center.
Use code Joe because it's shorter than the word baller.
Not as cool as a word, though.
That is true. Joe's a word, I think.
Not as cool as a word.
But yes, that is our episode of Twos Talk. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time, Twos out.
I love you.